Happy Homebrew Wednesday, but tonight it's a hashtag FABQ night. So frequently asked beer questions brought up by the Tasting Nitch, and I got tagged by SJ Pour. So let's get into it. How'd you get into beer? How did I get into beer? I grew up around it my entire life. I grew up around VFWs, American Legions, speakeasies, and in all reality, up until I got into high school, I really didn't like the taste of beer at all. My dad had beer around all the time, had beer in the fridge. Did I want to drink it? Nope, I didn't want to drink it at all. So, grew up in high school, started kind of liking beer a little bit, just for pretty much for effect. Pretty much what we have: Budweiser, Bud Light, Pabst, Busch. Actually, Busch was actually out of state, so that was kind of a beer that we kind of wanted. Jenny Cream Ale, Jenny 12 Horse. Probably I just started liking the beer, liking the effect of beer, and it was it's a social thing. That's pretty much how I got into beer, and that's why I'm still into beer. What is my favorite beer? Well, my favorite beer is my Roadrunner that I have on tap right now. This is my favorite beer all time. But what's the beer that actually got me into craft beer? The beer that actually got me into craft beer was a beer in San Diego. I went out there. I was stationed out there, or not stationed, but I was on work for over a month or two. And Rock Bottom Brewery actually had this beer called Old Granddad Vanilla Stout. And that beer is what got me into craft beer, because pretty much I was just drinking, Bud Light, Budweiser at the time, and I mean, it was good for effect, but you were just drinking that. Once I drank that beer, that's what broke me. That's what got me into wanting a different type of beer. So Old Granddad Vanilla Stout by Rock Bottom Brewery in La Jolla, California is how I got into the craft beer scene. If I was to have one beer forever, what would it be? It would be this Roadrunner. This beer is, I'm making it right now 10 gallons at a time because I don't want to run out of it. So I'm on my last keg. I've got 10 gallons in the house, fermenting away, dry hopping it right now. And once this thing goes, well, I've got other beer to drink, so I'll only be without it for like a week or two. So I can survive that. So don't worry about me. I'll be okay. So that's it. That's that. I want that not overly hoppy. It just tastes like hops. I mean, it is really, it's got Maris Otter, Two-Row, Cara Red, and Caramalt. That's what it is. So, so how is it that you can drink so much? Or kind of, how can you stay fit? That's a good question. I don't know how people stay fit with this stuff. I watched a video from Tony Yates, and he knows there's a diet out there or whatever. How I kind of stay fit is I just exercise after work, pretty much. I got this Fitbit, and it keeps me up I set it up for like 12,000 steps a day, and I try to get 12,000 steps. I've been kind of losing weight here, but I just all it is routine. You just have to keep a routine, and voila, you should stay thin if you stay a routine. If you don't drink excessively, or like every single night, or you could drink every night. I don't know. I'd like to drink every night, but I don't need to drink every night. That leads us into the next question. Are you an alcoholic? That's an interesting question. I don't believe that I am. I would have to say that some people might think that I am, because I do drink a lot. I brew a lot of beer. So, and they think that I go through all that beer. But I don't have to drink all the time. I don't have to drink. I can drink 1 or 2. I could drink 5. But normally I don't. I drink 1 or 2. That's what I do. So, what is my favorite beer ingredient? Well, you've got 4 ingredients you're going for. I'm not a big. I don't like to fruit up your beer or throw. I'm not a big wheat beer fan. So let's do it. We got water. We got grain, which is barley. You got yeast, and you got hops. Which ones do we like? Well, you need all of them, for one. Hops takes away the sweetness, but then sweetness makes the beer. So you need water. We have very good water here in Norfolk. I don't even have to doctor it up when I homebrew. So I would have to say, even though I like my hops, I would say malt. Because the way that you can get so many different flavors out of malts, it's ridiculous. So let's go. That's my answer. Final answer, malt. So, do I brew? No, I do not brew. So next question. Of course I brew. I brew all my beers. So I've been brewing for about 9 years, and it's I had a kegerator prior to me brewing, and I still buy commercial beers once in a while. But I make probably 20 plus batches a year. I make it for friends. I make it for here. Since I've been brewing for about 9 years, I have bought 3 commercial kegs. That's it, and that was like in the first 3 years. I swore up and down I would never ever run out of beer. And after my first keg, after my first homebrew, I ran out of beer like for 3 weeks. I made it. It took me like 3 weeks to make it, 3 or 4 weeks to make it and charge it, and we drank it within 2 weeks. And then I didn't have any beer left. So I swore right then I would never ever run out of beer, and I haven't ran out of beer. Came close a couple of times, but now I got 4 on tap. I've got three there waiting. I got a cider in there also. I'm doing my first lager. I got a couple inside the house. It's my hobby. I love to do it, and there you have it. What was my first beer? I don't know. My dad always had Schmitz or something. He always had something around the house. I'm telling you, I didn't really care for beer until I got into high school, and then you were going for effect and everything. But I would have to say there's a couple cases of beer that I did get. I actually worked at a VFW. I got into a pool. I won a case of beer, and these guys gave it to me. Here I am. I think I'm 15 or 16 years old. I win a case of beer. Drinking age is 21. They give me a case of beer. Jenny Cream Ale. That's the Jenny. So I took it home, and then S.J. Poor came down, picked me up, and we took it to his house, and we drank it when his parents were gone. So they didn't know about it. So we drank the Jenny Cream Ale. That's probably the first one. And I know that later on I had Jenny 12 Horse, when I was 17, driving down to Maryland, picking up a case of Busch and bringing it back because you couldn't get Busch in Pennsylvania. You had to drive across the border. You had to drive across the border to get. It's kind of like Smokey and the Bandit, kind of the Coors, running Coors all over the place, but there was a limit. You couldn't get Busch in Pennsylvania at the time. So anyways, first beer, I'll say it's Jenny Cream Ale. That's what I'm going for. That's my answer on that one. Who in the beer world do you look up to? I don't know. I'm 6'7", so I don't really look up to too many people. I would have to say that there's not really. Everyone, whoever's a beer geek is a beer geek. They're just like me. I mean, they might be a few years advanced, but you know, one of the best things I ever did was I went to NHC last year, and everyone at NHC, National Homebrew Convention in Baltimore, they were awesome. But if I had to pick one person, okay, I'm picking one person. I'll pick one person, and you might not agree with me, but Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, I'm gonna look up to him because he actually made it legal in the United States to make homebrew. So we'll go with that. Jimmy Carter. So, Taste Nitch, she wanted us to maybe say, I don't even know that. This is the questions that she always got, and I'm not sure if she wanted us to actually have our own questions. So I'm going to throw one out there. How can you make so much beer? And for one, I have a great neighborhood that helps me drink this stuff, and I have a great community that I get to send beer to people and experiment. So this is my hobby. It is my passion. I love this. I love the YouTube community. I love my homebrew community. I love the local community, the beer scene here in Norfolk, Virginia, and so that's how I can brew so much beer, and that's how I am into the beer scene around here. So thanks for having us do this, Taste Nitch, and it's been awesome. And I want to say hi to everyone, and it's been fun. And we're going to peace out. Peace.